Hello everybody, this is back again, another video. Oh guys, today's video is gonna be about a thought that I've thought about for a long time, and one of my viewers, he wrote a comment which I thought was really interesting in reading. He said, I can't come over the championship points that Federer wasted against Novak Djokovic in that 2019 Wimbledon final, and the judgment that he did in those two championship points when Federer was serving for the match. Like we all remember, the first match point when he went around and hit the forehand when the ball was not to be hit with the forehand. The ball should have hit with a backhand or slice. And the second match point that Federer wasted when he attacked the net where the approach was pretty weak. I agree with him. I completely agree. That was really horrible judgments from Federer. No doubt about that. But one other thing that he said was, when I think about it, Federer should have at least ended with 25 Grand Slam titles. That's what he said. He should have won the Wimbledon 2008, Wimbledon 2014, Wimbledon 2019, and US Open 2009 against Del Potro, and the US Open 2011 against Novak Djokovic, which he lost in the semis, where he had 2 match points in his own serve. Those 5 matches he thought that Federer should have won, and in the end would have won those 5 Grand Slam titles, even though that the match against Djokovic in that US Open 2011 was a semi-final. He probably thinks that he then would have defeated Nadal in that US Open 2011, because the match against Djokovic in that 2011 was a semi-final. Do I agree with all this? Should have like the title is saying, should Federer have won more than 20 Grand Slam titles? Alright guys, let's look first of all. We are only seeing this on one side. The matches Federer should have won, could have won. What we have, start with the matches Federer was closer winning. We start the matches that he has mentioned. 2008 against Nadal. Federer was 2 sets to love down. Yeah, Federer did a tremendous great effort to come back and level the match to 2-all, but Federer was never in the lead. Federer was never a break up in that 5th set against Rafa Nadal. Federer saved a match point in the 4th set tiebreak against Rafa Nadal, if I remember, with a down-the-line, unbelievable great backhand passing shot in that 4th set tiebreak. So Federer was under the brink all the time. Federer had the knife under his throat all the time against Nadal in that 2008 Wimbledon final. With some luck he could have won it, yes, but he was under pressure all the time. And in the 5th set, Federer actually had only one breakpunch opportunity in that 5th set. He didn't have more than that in that 4-3 game when Nadal was serving. And Nadal saved it with a great serve plus forehand game. That was the only breakpoint Federer had in that 5th set in that 2008 Wimbledon final against Rafa Nadal. And then Federer never had match points against Rafa Nadal in that 2008 Wimbledon final. Federer was 2 points away of winning that 2008 Wimbledon final, and that was in that 5-4 game when Nadal was serving. He was 2 points away of winning that 2008 Wimbledon final. But those points was not in Federer's serve, though they were in Nadal's serve. So, should Federer won that Wimbledon 2008 final? Most likely not. Was he close? Yes, he was not far away. Like I said, 2 points away of winning that final in that 5-4 game in that 5th set. But that was in Rafa's serve. He could have lost it in straight sets as well, because I remember in that 3rd set, in the middle of 3rd set, Federer was down 0-40 down in one of his service games. So Nadal with some luck, he could have won that 2008 Wimbledon final in straight sets actually. So shouldn't Federer have won that Wimbledon 2008 final? No. Was he close? Yes. Was he better? No. And then the 2014 Wimbledon final against Djokovic. Djokovic was the better player the entire match. Djokovic actually exactly like this, exactly like the 2008 Wimbledon final, Djokovic had match point in the fourth set when Federer was serving that 4-5 game, and Federer saved that match point with an ace. With an ace on the line. Djokovic was serving for the title in that 5-3 game. He choked. Federer broke. Djokovic was up 5-2 in the lead in the fourth set. Djokovic was clearly the better player than Federer in that fourth set. But Djokovic kind of choked when he was 5-2 up in the fourth set. And Federer won 5 straight games and won that fourth set 7-5. And then in the fifth set, Djokovic had bunch of breakpoint opportunities. Federer was keep on just saving them and saving them and saving them. Federer had only one breakpoint opportunity himself in that fifth set, and that was in the 3-all game, which Djokovic saved with big serving and big hitting from the baseline. And Federer hit the net. I believe something like that. Djokovic saved that at least. In that breakpoint opportunity he had against him. The only breakpoint opportunity that Federer had in that fifth set. Djokovic, on the other hand, had a bunch of breakpoints in that fifth set, which Federer kept on saving all the time. Until the end, where Federer couldn't resist Djokovic's pressure and Djokovic's consistency ball bashing from the baseline. And Federer, in the end, lost that last game of the fifth set in that 2014 Wimbledon final, where Djokovic did unbelievable great forehands and had unbelievable great depth, and had 2 championship points in that 5-4 game in the last fifth set, where Djokovic was 40-15 up, and Federer couldn't resist anymore, and Djokovic then won that last point and won that game, the last game then. So was Federer the better player against Djokovic in that fifth set, in that 2014 Wimbledon final? Absolutely not. Was Federer the better player the entire match in that 2014 Wimbledon final? Absolutely not. Djokovic should really have put Federer out already in that fourth set when he was 5-2 up in the lead. But all credit to Federer for coming back and really fighting and never giving up, and winning 5 straight games and winning that fourth set 7-5. And on the way also saving 1 match point in that fourth set with an ace on the line. So similar stories here, the 2008 Wimbledon final and the 2014 Wimbledon final against Djokovic, and the 2008 Wimbledon final against Nadal from Federer's side. He saved match point against Nadal in a 4-set tiebreak and just kept himself alive in the match until he lost in the fifth set, 9-7, I believe. Federer lost in the fifth set against Nadal in the 2008 Wimbledon final. He did the same against Djokovic in that 2014 Wimbledon final. He just kept on saving himself. He just kept on escaping like Houdini in the fourth set, just to lose in the fifth set 6-4 against Novak Djokovic in that 2014 Wimbledon final. Should Federer have won these 2 Wimbledon finals? No. Could he have won it? Yes. Was he close to winning them? Not particularly. Not in my opinion. He was never up and up with a break in those fifth sets, neither against Nadal, neither against Djokovic. So no, he really should not have won those 2. Then we have the 2019 Wimbledon final. That is the one that he should have won this, yeah. Only for one reason. When he had those 2 championship points in his own serve. Besides this, he was actually never in the lead, Roger Federer. He was never in the lead. He was 1-2 sets down. Djokovic was leading the match with 2-1 in sets. And Djokovic was actually a break up in the fifth set. All credit to Federer for never giving up, giving all the pressure to Djokovic and trying to come back. And he came back in the fifth set. Federer broke Novak's serve and leveled the match in the fifth set, and then broke Novak again to try to serve out the match in that 8-7 game. That is only for that reason Federer should have won that match. Only because Federer was in the lead for 3, 4, 5 minutes in that match. That was the only time Federer was in the lead. 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's all. He was never in the lead more when he was trying to serve out the match in that 8-7 game. So that he maybe should have won. Maybe. When we look which kind of golden opportunities he had. 2 championship points in his own serve. But besides that, he really should have not won that match. He was never in the lead. He really was not. And when the tiebreaks was up, he lost all the 3 tiebreaks. With Djokovic being the clutch beast. He didn't do one single unforced error in one single tiebreak in all those 3 tiebreaks that Federer lost. Djokovic, he just pushed that clutch beast mode and said to Federer, I have taken you to tiebreaks, now I will take you down to Chinatown. With Djokovic closing that unforced error store in all those 3 tiebreaks. So, should Federer won that 2019 Wimbledon final? Maybe yes, considering that he had 2 championship points in his own serve. But besides that, no. He really was never up in the lead. He was always chasing Djokovic, always chasing Djokovic the entire match, besides a couple of minutes in that 5th set, like I mentioned. That was the Wimbledon final. Then we have the US Open matches that you're here talking about. Against Del Potro, yeah, he should have won this. This I really agree he should have won. Why? Because against Del Potro, when Federer faced Del Potro, he was a 15 times Grand Slam champion. Del Potro was a 0 times Grand Slam champion and was a 20 years old kid. Federer was 2-1 up in the lead. Federer was 3 points away of winning that 4th set tiebreak when Del Potro was 5-4 up in the lead. 3 points away, Del Potro. Federer was 3 points away of winning that 4th set tiebreak against Del Potro. But like we all know, I did a video about that a couple of days ago. Federer gave away that tiebreak against Del Potro with really bad forehands. He just gave those points away to Del Potro, and Del Potro won that 4th set tiebreak in the end. 7-4, with Federer acting really like a Santa Claus with unforced errors with his forehand. So, but Federer was such a huge favorite in that match, so Federer should have won that US Open Final 2009 against Del Potro, at least according to me. He was a 2-1 up in the lead. He was a break up in the 2nd set. He was Roger Federer. So Federer had all the chances to be 2 sets to up in the lead against Del Potro. And if Federer would have been 2 love up against Del Potro in the lead in that 2009 US Open Final, I think it would have been hasta la vista baby for Del Potro. So that match, he should really have won. Roger Federer, considering that how big of a favorite he was, 15 times Grand Slam champion at that time, against a 0 times 20 years old kid Grand Slam champion Juan Martín del Potro. The 2011 against Novak Djokovic, where he lost that 5th set and had 2 championship points, not championship points, had 2 match points in his own serve. He should have won that match, yeah, considering that he had 2 match points in his own serve. But I don't think he would have defeated Rafa Nadal. Back then, he really didn't figure out Nadal yet outside. He didn't figure out Nadal on clay, of course, but not even outside of clay, he really had not figured out Nadal, Roger Federer. He lost against him in that epic Australopian Final 2009. He lost against Nadal in that epic 2008 Wimbledon Final. So, me personally, if Federer would have defeated Djokovic in that semi-final in 2011 US Open, I believe that Federer would have lost against Nadal in the final. That's what I believe. I didn't trust Roger Federer's game against Rafa Nadal back then, not even outside clay, because Nadal was handling Roger Federer even outside clay as well. Like the proof I'll say, he defeated Federer in 2008 Wimbledon, he defeated Federer in 2009 Australopian. So of all these 5 matches mentioned in this comment, I agree that in only one, really hugely agree, Federer should have not lost. And that was against Juan Martín del Potro in 2009 US Open Final. And to some degree in that 2019 Wimbledon Final. Particularly when Federer had the lead for maximum 5 minutes. When he was serving for that for the title in that 8-7 game. And that is the only reason. Besides that, I don't agree. Federer was never in the lead. He was always chasing Djokovic. So, some other matches that I feel Federer should have won that are not mentioned in this comment is actually against Marat Safin in 2005 Australopian, where actually Federer was up 2-1 in the lead in that semi-final 2005 Australopian, and actually was up in that tiebreak 5-2. Lost both of his serves when he was serving for that to win that tiebreak in that fourth set against Marat Safin, with really bad forehands and bad backhands. He was doing a really unforced errors, and Safin came back to 5-4, and Safin won then one of the point to 5-all, and then Federer won to 6-5, and then Federer had actually one match point in his own serve, and Federer does a horrible judgment and comes to the net on a second serve. And then Safin lobs him, and then Federer tries a tweener. Talk about a low percentage of shot, trying to do a tweener in a match point. And that is definitely a match where Federer really should have won. And then we all know in the final, Hewitt was waiting, and Federer was really handling Hewitt really comfortably. He was dominating Leighton Hewitt. Federer would have never have lost that Australopian final against Leighton Hewitt in that 2005 edition if he would have come through Marat Safin, which he really should have done. So if I could pick two matches that Federer really should have won, really, is against Juan Martín del Potro, US Open 2009 final, and against Marat Safin 2005 Australopian. Those are really two really missed opportunities to Grand Slam titles, according to me. That against Djokovic is also a missed opportunity for 5 minutes. Not more than so. Just because he was serving for the match. For 5 minutes, that is a huge missed and wasted opportunity to a Grand Slam title. So 2 to 3 Grand Slam titles Federer has really wasted with bad judgments. Against Djokovic in 2019 Wimbledon Final, only for 5 minutes. Against Marat Safin, 2005 Australopian semi-final. And against Juan Martín del Potro in that 2009 US Open Final. But if we look Federer, how many matches he could have actually lost and won, and went on to win the Grand Slam titles, mention one like against Nadal, 2007 Wimbledon Final. Nadal really had Federer under the ropes in that fifth set, you know that? He had 2 breakpoint opportunities in that 1-all game, in that fifth set. Federer was down 15-40 down, and Federer saved them with big serving and big forehands and some bad returns from Rafa Nadal's racket, I must say. And then also in the 2-all game, Federer was once again down 15-40, and he saved them with big serving and some bad decisions from Rafa Nadal, but mostly Federer saving himself with big serving and big forehands in that 2-all game. So Rafa Nadal actually was the better player for the 4 or 5 games in that fifth set, 2007 Wimbledon Final. He was the better player. He had 4 breakpoint opportunities in 2 different games. Federer saved them all with clutch serving and clutch forehand game. He could have lost that one easily. In the end, Federer then won it 6-2 when he broke Rafa Nadal's serve in that 3-2 game and took the lead 4-2, and then held his serve to 5-2, and then in the end, in the last game of the match, he broke Rafa's serve for the second time in the fifth set and won that fifth set 6-2. But he could easily have lost that Wimbledon Final 2007 against Nadal, considering how many breakpoint opportunities Rafa had actually in that fifth set. And then in the 2009 against Tommy Haas, He was really in big danger, Roger Federer. He was 2-0 down, and Tommy Haas had Federer really under the brink in that 4-3 game, where Federer had one breakpoint opportunity against him, and he saved himself, and he escaped like Houdini with a forehand inside in that 30-40 game, when Tommy Haas really almost broke Federer to 5-3, and then Tommy Haas had a chance to serve out the third set to 6-3. But Federer, he saved himself with an inside forehand winner in that 30-40 game. In that 30-40 point, in that 3-4 game, where Tommy Haas was in the lead 4-3. Federer could have lost that one. We all know what happened then. Federer saved it, and then won the third set 6-4, and then won the last two sets. The final set Federer won, I believe, 6-1, if I'm not mistaken. He could have lost that one, too. Then 2012, Wimbledon third round against Julian Benneteau. Federer was 2-0 down in that match as well. Federer was under the brink of losing that fourth set, my tennis fans all around the world. He actually was 2 points away of losing in that fourth set against Julian Benneteau. In that 12th game of the fourth set, where Benneteau was 2 points, when Federer was trying to take the match, to take the fourth set into tiebreak, Benneteau actually was 2 points away of winning that 6-5 game, where Federer was trying to take himself to a tiebreak. Federer managed to save himself there and took himself to a tiebreak. And then in the fourth set tiebreak, it was 6-all. Benneteau once again was 2 points away of winning that fourth set tiebreak. Federer saved himself with big serving and big forehands and some backhand unforced errors from Benneteau, and Federer won that fourth set tiebreak 8-6. Third round 2012 Wimbledon. 3 matches that Federer really could have lost but won, and then in the end won the Grand Slam titles. And then the 2017 Wimbledon Australopian Final against Rafa Nadal, when he was actually 1-3 down in the fifth set, and Federer produces the clutchest game of his entire career, especially against Rafa Nadal in that kind of a big stage. He won 5 straight games and won that fifth set against Rafa Nadal in that 2017 Australopian Final 6-3. And actually, when Federer was trying to serve for the title in that 5-3 game, he was 15-40 down. He saved those 2 breakpoints that Rafa Nadal had. With one breakpoint, the first breakpoint he saved in that last game of the 2017 Australopian Final with an ace, and the second he saved it with inside forehand, exactly like he did against Tommy Haas in 2009 French Open fourth round with an inside forehand. He did the same in the match against Rafa Nadal in the 2017 Australopian Final, when he saved the second breakpoint Rafa had in that last game of the match with an inside forehand. Federer could have lost that one as well. Who knows if Rafa would have broken there, what would have happened? And consider that Rafa was up with a break in the fifth set, Federer could have lost that. There we have 4 matches. And the last match I want to mention is the last Grand Slam title Federer won in 2018 Australopian Final. In 2018, man, I saw that match a couple of days ago. Both Djokovic and Nadal was in the draw. Djokovic just came back from injury. He lost in the fourth round against Chong. So Federer was a little lucky there, we must be honest. And then Nadal, he withdrew in the fifth set against Marin Cilic in the quarterfinal with an injury. So Federer avoided both of them. Both of his 2 chief rivals, Nadal and Djokovic, in the final. Who did he face in the final? Marin Cilic. All respect to Marin Cilic, but he's not any Nadal, or any Djokovic. Marin Cilic didn't do a great final. Or what do you say? 45 winners, 64 unforced errors he did in the final, Marin Cilic. He does 19 more unforced errors than winners in the final. And only the fourth set, Marin Cilic does 16 unforced errors and only 4 winners. So Marin Cilic does only the fifth set. The fifth final set. Only the fifth final set, Marin Cilic does 16 unforced errors and only 4 winners. So Marin Cilic does 12 more unforced errors than winners in that final set against Roger Federer in that 2018 Australopian final. So Marin Cilic put a Santa Claus hat and gave away that final set to Roger Federer. Should have Federer won 25 Grand Slam titles? No, my tennis fans all around the world. Federer should have not won 25 Grand Slam titles. Federer has done unbelievable great effort in winning 20 Grand Slam titles. If you look what I've said in this video, he could have lost all of these matches I've just mentioned. 5, and it could have been with 15 Grand Slam titles. Alright, we take the Del Potro match, we take the Djokovic match, 2019 Wimbledon final, we take the US Open final against Del Potro, the 2 matches that he could have won, and Safin match also in 2005 Australopian semi-final, which he should have won as well. So if we take 3 matches Federer lost, which he should have won, but we have 5 matches where he won, where he should have lost. So Federer should have been with 17 Grand Slam titles if we count everything right. So in the end of the day, my tennis fans all around the world, Roger Federer, he has won unbelievable great amount of Grand Slam titles, considering that he's not the most complete tennis player of all time. He's not as complete as Nadal, he's not as complete as Novak Djokovic. He just is not. Federer, you can attack his backhand, you can attack his, you can serve towards his backhand, and you will be rewarded. How do you think these 2 giants, these 2 beasts, Nadal and Djokovic, were so successful against Federer? Because nobody has been able to punish Federer's weaknesses. Nobody has ever been able to expose Federer's weaknesses as Nadal and Djokovic. And one other match I just came on my mind, I should not forget this, where Federer really could have lost but won it. Against Roddick in 2009 Wimbledon, my transfer all around the world. Roddick was 6-2 up in that second set tiebreak. 6-2 up! Federer saved 4 set points. Roddick had an easy put-away volley in that 6-5 game, which he really should have put in. It was not that difficult. Yeah, it was a little high, but he should have put in that backhand volley and win that second set tiebreak 7-5. What did Roddick do? He completely missed that volley backhand and it didn't even hit the court. It was completely out. If Roddick would have been 2-0 up against Roger Federer, and considering how big Roddick was serving that day, I really don't think Federer would have come back. Do you know that never has it happened, at least what I know in the men's side, that one player, when he has been 2-0 down in a Wimbledon final, to turn around that scenario and win the final. It has never happened in the men's side that a player being 2-0 down in a Wimbledon final and to come back and win that Wimbledon final in 5 sets. It has never been done. So that is a proof to us that if Federer would have been 2-0 down against Roddick, which he really should have been, considering that Roddick had 4 set points in his 4 set points, and 2 of them actually in his own serve. 2 was in Federer's serve, which Federer served with great serve plus forehand game, but 2 was in Roddick's serve, and 1 was a pretty easy put away with a backhand volley. Roddick, if he would have been 2-0 up in that 2009 Wimbledon final, Roddick would most likely have won that 2009 Wimbledon title. He would most likely have won that. So we can only focus on which matches Federer should have won, which are 2-3, really 2-3. Like I said, US Open against Del Potro 2009 final, Marat Safin 2005 Australopian semi-final, because we all know if Federer would have defeated Safin, Hewitt would have been walk in the park victory, like it was for Safin. Safin won against Hewitt in 4 sets. And then the Wimbledon 2019 final against Novak Djokovic, only for 5 minutes, because all the rest, Federer was not better than Djokovic. He was not, especially not in those 3 tie breaks, where Djokovic really closed that unforced error store. So I have 3 matches where Federer should really have won, which he lost. I have 6 matches where Federer really should have been losing, but he won. 6 matches. Do you see the difference? And the answer to this video, should Federer have won more than 20 Grand Slam titles? No, baby! He should have not! 20 was an unbelievable achievement that Federer has done. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace!